Spider-Man's eyes are glowing. Today we are going to be dealing with some algae buildup. So both of these anthuriums here have something in common. They both have too much algae growing in their vase. Now that is one of the biggest downsides of growing in transparent vessels, because when there's light and moisture, there's going to be algae. Now, algae itself is not detrimental to the plant's health, short or long term, but it completely defeats the purpose of having transparent vessels, because now we can't see what's going on in there. We can't see the roots, people. We don't know if they're healthy. We don't know if they're rotting. We don't know what they look like. We don't know how they're growing. And that's the whole point of growing in vessels that are transparent. So we need to fix this. So that's what we're going to do today. Right here, I have an anthurium dressleri, and then I have I bought it as an Ace of Spades anthurium, but I mean a quote-unquote seed-grown Ace of Spades from Silver Chrome Gardens. I didn't buy it directly from Silver Chrome Gardens, but the person that I bought it from said it was from Silver Chrome Gardens. I just have some doubts because it doesn't look like any Ace of Spades that I've ever seen. It's got like a bluish green look to it. It has a beautiful emergent leaf color, and it just looks like something else. But I do like how unique it is. So it kind of reminds me of a red crystallinum, but it's not that. It's something else. So it's probably a hybrid or something, but we love him. We love him. So I'm gonna put him over there. We're gonna start with the dressleri first, because as you can see, he not only has a lot of really dark algae, but he also has some little white spots in there. That's mold. Do you see that? Now, from my experience, guys, and I'm only speaking on my experience, this type of white mold, I don't know if it's called white mold, I don't know what kind of mold it is, I'm not a mold expert, guys, so just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. In my experience, I have not seen any detrimental effects short or long term, because I've had plants growing with mold in their vases, and they're usually just fine. It doesn't seem to attack the roots in a negative way. We are going to give him a new substrate and a bigger vessel. We are going to take him out. And one thing I love about these cylindrical glass vases, it's so easy to unpot. Oh, guys, are you seeing the roots at the bottom? They're looking pretty good. They're nice and white at the tips. So we're just going to very gently take all this stuff off and just see what's going on. Anthurium dressleri is notoriously not the easiest anthurium to grow, and I'm trying to grow this guy in ambient conditions. And so far, he's been easier than Warocyanum, guys. He's been easier than the Queen Diva herself. So, not quite as easy to upsize, not quite as fast growing as most anthuriums. I'm not smelling any rot. That's really good. When you unpot your plants and take off you never want to smell anything that smells kind of funky. You know what I'm saying, guys? You don't want to smell fish in your plants. Don't go fishing in your plants, guys. And by the way, speaking of fish and plants, have you ever seen those, maybe in an office or something? You see those poor betta fish in the little fish bowl with an orchid or some kind of I don't know, a spider plant or something in it growing hydroponically, and the myth is the fish feeds off of the roots and the plant feeds off of the fish's poop, which fertilizes it. No, that's a very reductive way of looking at how nature works, because yes, people do use fish tanks as fertilizer water, and yes, some fish do eat plant material, but no, do not get a betta fish and put it in a tiny little bowl. I think bettas need at least 5 gallons, I want to say. I forget. I looked into it because I wanted to get a betta fish, and I said, if I want to get a betta fish, I want to get any pet, I got to do it right. I can just put a betta fish in a little bowl for 6 months until it dies. I want it to live a nice, good, long life of 2-3 years. I think they can live, a handful of years. And I looked into it and I was like, ooh, I don't really have the space for that, nor the patience. So I'm not going to do that, because I want my pets to thrive as much as my plants. So let me just show you what a nice, healthy root system looks like. He is looking pretty good. If I could cover my face, will it show you guys? No rotting roots. I don't smell nothing bad. I smell nothing but good nature, guys. Oh, yeah, that's like a drug for me. Oh, yeah! Yeah! We're gonna put him down right there. Sorry, sir, but I'll be right back. Okay, what we are going to do... Do I have stuff on my lip? What a mess. I need gloves. My sister bought me gloves and I don't... So, what we're going to do, we're going to make our concoction, guys. Now, you might be like, well, Jake, isn't this going to happen again? Well, we're going to do an experiment because I've noticed that in some of my other planters, my vessels, my vases, my transparent vessels, the ones that don't have nearly as much algae are the ones that have the Voluble stratum. Now, it's not going to be a foolproof thing because this guy has Voluble stratum in him and he does have quite a bit of algae in there, so it's not going to be a foolproof thing. But this stuff is for fish tanks. It's actually not really for plants. It's for fish tanks, and there's beneficial bacteria in here. And my guess, without looking into it or testing it, my, pedestrian guess is that that beneficial bacteria is keeping the algae at bay. Possibly. Or something about the Voluble stratum itself that maybe the algae doesn't really grow on as quickly as other materials. So yes, what we were going to do is create a new concoction, and we're going to make it more aerated because algae likes it nice and damp. So we don't want it to be too compact. We want it to be nice and aerated and fluffy. Obviously, I love me some sphagnum moss. I'm going to make a lot of this because I need to also repot this guy. I'm going to put in like a lot of sphagnum. Well, not quite that much, but I'll put in a good amount right there. Next, we're going to add some Voluble stratum. And then maybe a few handfuls of this nice Aroid mix, which is kind of just like small to medium-sized bark and charcoal. Charcoal has some beneficial properties in it, like antibacterial properties and things like that, Kids on the block say it's pretty good, so yeah, we're gonna do just a few handfuls of that. And we're going to use my new best friend, tree fern. I also noticed that tree fern doesn't seem to have a lot of algae growing on it either. So maybe the tree fern is also helping in some of my other pots. We'll just have to see. This is an experiment, guys. Now let's see, how much of this can I use? Because I don't have any left, aside from this, I don't think. So I think that'll be good. Let me make sure that I have enough for my base, because I want to use this Voluble stratum as my base. I bought these two today, because I didn't have the right size on hand. So let's see which one will be best. I bought these vases from Jamali Floral and Garden, which is a local shop here, but they do have a website, so go check them out if, if you're interested, maybe they sell. Or you could probably go to like, I don't know, I've seen Whole Foods sell vases, maybe like a dollar store or an arts and crafts store. Like there's gotta be a place locally that can sell you cheap vases, right? Or just use plastic or acrylic ones, like whatever you got, guys. Or just use party cups, whatever you want. I love using vases because they are the most aesthetic, and I don't like to use vases that have a lip, like a jar or one of those like hourglass, like really nice looking vases, because while they do look nice, unpotting them is a nightmare, guys. So just don't do it, because once your plants get root bound, you're gonna have to either break into the vase and you can't use the vase ever again, or as you're taking it out to repot it, you're gonna rip up all the roots and disturb the root system, and we don't wanna do that, so. Alright, so we're gonna put in like an inch or so of a free draining base. I'm gonna use my Voluble stratum here. Guys, take a shot every time I say Voluble stratum if you haven't already. Okay, or yeah, an inch-ish, Alright, now let's see if he'll fit in this smaller one. Because I don't like pots to dwarf the plant, you feel me? I want the plant to shine. I don't want it to look like it's in a gigantic pot. This will be perfect, I think. Do you see this, guys? This, I feel like, is what you're looking for when you're repotting plants into a bigger vessel, or just a different vessel if you're doing what I'm doing. Do you see that? The roots are fitting nice and snug, but there's still plenty of space in there for it to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to overpot it, but you don't want to squish all the roots in there at the same time. Look at the Spider-Man eyes. He is locked in and focused. Guys, I think somebody popped out a baby next door, because I keep hearing a baby crying. Oh God. I like children, but I don't like babies. Babies like under the age of like 1.5 or even like 2. Like I can deal with terrible 2s. as a gunkle, guys, like let's be honest, I'm no parent, but like as a gunkle, but like babies, they're just shitting like 12 times a day. I had to change the diapers. Now the diapers are like corsets where they go all the way up to their tits. It's just, they're just gross. And they're just so, like, they're always throwing up. They can't eat nothing. They eat and they poop and they cry when they're tired. Like, you dumbass, go to bed! Babies are stupid. And I should know because I was one. So we're going to put a little bit of a base at the bottom here, just so the roots have something to sit on top of, a little pillow. And we're going to just swirly-whirly him in right there. The reason I swirly-whirly the roots in is so that they don't break when I put them down there. If I just put them down in there and then they like squish on themselves and fold, they're gonna snap, and we don't want dead roots, snapped roots in there. Be a little bit more tree fern just because that seems to be working. We want to add in more of the substrate that is preventing the problems, okay? We're gonna solve the problems, guys. We are solving problems! And you want to make sure that you get the good substrate because sometimes the good stuff goes towards the bottom, like the fluval stratum. Like we need that good fluval stratum. We gotta make sure I get the nice good handfuls with the good stuff in it. So now we're going to just stick our fingy wingies in there and just make sure all the big air pockets are gazon. Jake, your brain is gazon, I'm telling you. Okay. Dress-free roots are not the most aggressive of anthurium roots. They're not going to grow that fast, so you don't want to overpot it for that reason. You don't want to oversize the pot because he's not going to grow into it within 6 months. He might grow into it within a year to a year and a half. You have to repot according to your plant. There we go. We're going to put him right there. I'm going to treat him with a little bit of Fizan water at the end, but let's see if we can do something about this guy, because he's got a lot of algae in there. Let's unpot this guy. I mainly want to pot him a little bit deeper because he's just a little bit flimsy. You seeing that? You know, you asshole, he's like stuck in there and I hear him breaking. I am definitely going to have to disturb his root system now. Okay, yeah, sorry buddy, but I had to. I just had to. This is what I call the point of no return. Like I can't just edit, undo. The camera's already rolling and I already did it. Now I can't just put him back in because now he's all effed up. I gotta finish what I started, guys. We gotta finish what we started. And sometimes roughing up the roots can be a good thing. Sometimes it invigorates the plant, kind of snaps it awake, snaps it into action. I mean, he was doing just fine. I didn't have to repot him. He wasn't like in trouble. I don't want to lose this guy. So maybe I should have waited. So now the stakes are very high. He'll be fine, I think. Well, we're gonna find out in a few months. If you're watching this and it's at least a few months from now, ask me how he's doing and I'll let you know if he survived it or if he didn't. Yeah, I think he'll be just fine. That's not a lot of fluval stratum. So you know what I'm gonna have to do, guys? I think I'm going to have to use what he already had. And I'm going to... Is the baby now banging on the frickin' wall? What the hell? Alright, I'm gonna go wash this, hold on. Alright guys, so for now we're just going to put him back into the same vessel, I think. And I'll repot him at a later date. But we'll just put that stuff in there because we want like a good inch of a free draining base. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, do you see that? We want at least like an inch of a free draining base. And now let's take this guy one more time, just shake him out, make sure I didn't miss any broken off root, because we don't want them in there. We don't want them to rot away in there and then introduce fungus and disease into that little micro ecosystem, which is the root system. Okay guys, I'm going to use a little bit of thicker, longer, invisible stake, just so that he has a little bit more support. And I'm not going to bury this little bandage here. I want to take this off. And now that both of them have more fluval stratum in their substrate, more tree fern, and more aroid mix, so it's a little bit lighter and more aerated, I'm hoping that that will help with the algae buildup. We can't stop it. We just want to prevent it from getting too out of hand within like 2 or 3 months. But yeah, now these guys are all potted up, so now I just gotta water them with a little Fizan water, and they are good to go. All right, let's clean up. Okay guys, now they're back where they belong. I'm just going to add a little bit of biocide water in there. And I'm going to add a little bit in this guy right here. And it's okay if some of it pools at the bottom. That's actually what I want to happen. That's when I know to stop watering, if you see right there. Because do you remember how his roots are not sitting all the way at the bottom, guys? His roots are actually a little bit above the bottom of the substrate line right there. It doesn't want to focus. What a stupid camera. There we go. This camera's so stupid. Ugh. What is that? Oh, it's a giant piece of sphagnum moss. All right, you little devil, get back up there. Ain't he just cute? He just so cute. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. I'll see you in the next one. This has been Jake, also known as Plantgate for Life. Bye-bye.